faith in something is so important. Having this committed faith, it's so important. Believing in something, throwing heart and soul into it because you believe it's going to happen. It's this 21 days of breakthrough. Part of breakthrough really is faith. Up on the screen behind me it says nothing, but usually on the screen behind me it says, if you have faith, these things will happen. Like what happened to this is Matthew 21 verse 21. It says, like what happened to the fig tree, where Jesus cursed the fig tree and it died. That was a level of authority that Jesus had, that he was able just to tell a fig tree, just die, and the thing died. He had authority over physicality. And he said, you'll be able to tell a mountain, pick yourself up by the roots and cast yourself into the sea. When you have faith, you have this intense power. You have this power to change circumstantial evidence. You have this power to change the world around you. Nothing becomes impossible. But the thing is to have faith, and to have faith means that you've got to treat the little bit of belief you've got and protect it the same way you would protect. Whoever used this mic before needs to brush their teeth. Woo, that was bad. I'm throwing that away. Someone was licking that microphone filter. It's fine now. Don't need the filter. I think I'm okay. Man, I just got a whiff and I was like, wow. Just have to speak to my team publicly. Guys, if you have practices and stuff, make sure everything is set up and nice again for worship 10 minutes before. And that's the reason I'm able to do that live now. It's one of the things of faith. When you believe in something, you protect the seed of that belief with precision. Everybody say precision. Precision. You become so careful. Like I'm always 10 minutes early. I'm always early. I can see what people believe in by what time they walk in. Because we don't always realize it. See, like some of the young guys from the band, they walked in here like 1 minute before the hour. And I could see that it's more a job than a passion for them. The other half, I know this is a passion because they're here early. Now, I don't pass judgment. I understand. And I'm happy to use people's lives as examples because I know where I was and what I did, that I can tell who has got absolute faith in something by how they treat it. You want breakthrough. You have to treat the seed of your belief. Treat the things in your life that you believe in like it's a seed that could die. In practicality, I was chatting to all the drivers of the vehicles. We've got diesel vehicles, and some of the drivers think they're in Kyalami, and they think that it's not going to affect the vehicles. And then the vehicles the one vehicle's smoking and that kind of thing, because they don't understand that seed of faith means to love that vehicle, means to love, like let's say we're going to have a worship session at 7 in the morning, or a worship session at 3 in the afternoon, or 7 in the evening, and you decide you're going to go. Then you literally, I don't know, is there anybody here who has like a bit of a panic attack when you aren't going to be early? Is there anybody else like it? That's me. I have a total panic attack because I understand how important that seed of faith is to me. Because when I start coming late, when I start not looking after stuff, when I start, sorry, what just broke on the sound? Okay, sorry. Sorry, team, please get set up like before I go live. Okay. It's literally all we're paid to do. We don't have any other priorities in our life. And this is, I think this, usually it happens like this, like live, so that there's this object lesson so you can actually see what happens. My faith is affected in the moment of ministry when the people around me's faith is not manifest. So when the people, like when the band walks in like 1 minute before, when the sound is not set up, when like it's like you can see that people don't cherish something, that they don't. Now this isn't a rebuke, it's just an object lesson. You can see that people don't, I'm looking for the word, they don't revere something. And because when you revere something, when you cherish something, when something is so important to you that you want to protect it with everything that you have, you start to release a seed of excellence into that thing and into your own life. Because what you're releasing is favor. See, like I'm standing up here, I'm hot. Things have been moved around. Like it's so different. I'm standing up here. Like there used to be a fan on me, now there's not. It's boiling in here. The sound is different. The dynamic has changed. People were coming in late. You know, it's like it was like, and what happened to me was my entire train of thought disappeared. So I'm preparing there for 20 minutes to half an hour to come in here, and then when I come in, I come into an environment where maybe 3 or 4 of us out of hundreds really revere the atmosphere that changes lives. And why I'm sharing this in that context, why I'm being brutally honest about what I feel, is so that you understand your impact on people when you don't revere important things. When you don't revere something, that seed can die. In your life, let's say you've got this dream and you close your eyes and you see, okay, you want to start a business that sells lollipops, right? And now you go and start the business and you've got 2 partners who say, we're going to do this together. And you want to sell these suckers, these lollipops. But the other 2 partners, they don't answer the emails, they don't answer their phone calls, they don't answer messages. You're answering messages, you're phoning people, you're doing all the work. They sleep late. What happens is it affects your seed of faith. Now, let's say you're one of the other 2 partners and you think, it doesn't matter, that guy's doing all the work. You affect their seed of faith. Their ability to root up mountains disappears. That person who might be the reason that the business is successful, the reason the ministry is successful, the reason the relationship is successful, that seed starts to die. Let's say you're in a marriage or a relationship where the other person is doing all the work. You're not calling them, you're not sending messages, they're sending you the messages. That seed starts to die in that person. Their branches start to wither. The exhaustion starts to come upon them. And they start to see you as a burden. And the last thing in the world you want people to see you as is a burden. I've walked away from a lot of ministry projects because I said, okay, this is not going to work because the people in that ministry project are not as serious as I am, and I'm not going to be able to carry this. Over here, we had many churches that we started up at one point. We had like 3 or 4 churches, at 1.7 churches in a week running here. And then I saw, if I don't step in, those things don't really happen. They were pumping, but I just canceled it all. This is 3 or 4 years ago. I just canceled it all, every single church service. Why? Because that seed of faith, whatever it is that you have, You've got to protect your seed of faith. Have you ever burnt out, been exhausted because you carried everything yourself? Breakthrough comes when that seed hits root, grows, and bears fruit. And when you allow yourself to carry others, that's why Jesus cursed that fig tree. He cursed that fig tree because he had to carry that fruit himself. He'd have to grow the fruit himself. He'd have to go and grow a new fruit tree or go and travel somewhere else to go and get fruit. That fruit tree, that fig tree that did not produce that fruit, became more of a curse than a blessing. Are you listening to what I'm saying to you? When you pursue vision, line up with people who cherish what you cherish. Line up with people who cherish what you cherish. Rebuke those who don't. Make it unacceptable for people who do not cherish what you cherish to be around you. It must be a nightmare for them. We're not talking about grace and mercy here. We're talking about stewardship. It must be hard for them. Confront them, correct them, teach them. Otherwise, the seed of faith in you will die. The seed of faith that you have for the breakthrough that you want will die. There's Derek over there, he works hard. We all know Derek works hard. At one point, there were one or two workers who didn't like the fact that Derek worked hard. They wanted him to slow down. We fired all of them. Because, at one point they were threatening him. Why would we do that? Because we don't want to affect the seed of faith in Derek. Well done, my good and faithful servant. Depart from me, you wicked and lazy servant. That is the nature of Jesus. That's the nature of God. The good steward. Be brilliant at what you do. And when there's people around you, exhaust your ability to be brilliant. You've got to let that fig tree die. We are so scared to hurt people's feelings that we let them kill the vision in us. We let them kill the dream in us. You end up useless to the kingdom of God, useless to your children, useless in marriage because you just don't have any drive anymore. And today's message is gratitude for people in your life who produce energy within you, who produce joy within you, who produce enthusiasm for a vision within you. Gratitude for them. Be grateful for them. Celebrate them. But with the same vigor, rebuke, correct people around you who are not protecting that seed of faith within you, especially if you're a leader. I go into departments and I say, how's it going here? And then if I see there's someone that's slowing that department down, I'll either move that person or remove that person. But if I find people in our organization who's slowing other people down, encourage people to take long breaks, or we'll go and sit somewhere where everybody wants to work. They want to get things down, because this isn't we're not a capitalistic enterprise. We're a ministry that takes care of people, and when we don't do what we're supposed to do, people go hungry. So when we lose the seed of faith, people don't get fed. The potential of our ministry will not be realized if we allow ourselves to be influenced and interfered with by people who lack faith. I don't even let my own wife do that. She doesn't do it, but in the times where she gets a bit frustrated, then I don't even allow that. I say, nope, nope, nope. I seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. And many of you listening to this, you've fallen out of ministry around the world. You're listening to this, you've dropped out of ministry. You've left your dream because you allowed yourself to be trampled by faith stealers. Am I talking to anybody today? Faith thieves. And sometimes you are the faith thief. So when you learn and realize that little seed of faith, that little mustard seed that can cast mountains into the sea and can curse a fig tree is so important. It must be revered and loved and protected. This morning I came straight out of like 8 hours of prayer. 8 hours, and then I came in to do this morning's worship. I wasn't in the mood to do anything except sleep, I promise you. But I cherish this ministry. I cherish every ear that I speak to. I cherish every person who takes the effort to come out here. Every person across the sea who's tuned in at like 12 o'clock at night or 1 o'clock in the morning. I cherish them so much that I will still come in early, brush my teeth, comb my eyebrows. I don't think I comb my eyebrows. I probably should. Now that I think of it, I'm starting to look like a Batman villain. Like, cherish that seed of faith. Cherish it, man. Look after the seed of faith for your dreams. And when you're around somebody else's dream, cherish it. Protect it. I've served some tyrants and real tyrants, man. And I always fit in with those tyrants. And I loved being there because I understood where they were coming from. When they would, there's one pastor, he was always late for every meeting, but if you came there, so let's say he sets a staff meeting for 9 o'clock. So 9 o'clock in the morning, we're having a staff meeting, right? He usually gets there like 9:30. But if you get there at like 51 minutes past 8, you get called into the office and asked why you're dishonoring the house of God. And it's hard. It's not like you're being said, hi, why were you late? You get asked, why are you dishonoring the house of God? Don't you believe in this place? And they would freak out. And everyone, well, not everybody, a lot of people would get offended. I would understand because I understood. That dude up there is carrying that vision. When I worked in companies where people paid my salary, I always understood that person up there is carrying this vision. I'm going to protect the seed of faith in their heart. There's people in your life, in your marriage. My wife, I'm sure she sees me the same way. She does treat me nicely. But I see her carrying that marriage. I see her. She's carrying that marriage. So I honor her for it. And I protect the seed of faith in her for the marriage. And when I felt that she wasn't, I still protected that little bit of seed, like teeny little mustard seed. I still went for if that thing's gonna die, it's not gonna be my fault. Everybody say, if that thing dies, it's not my fault. See, you can think that about relationships, about business, about ministry. If that mustard seed dies, that seed of faith in someone's heart dies, it must never be your fault. Throw heart and soul into serving each other. Heart and soul into serving. Make things so special. Everything is personal. Everybody say everything is personal. When you do things excellently, people are affected personally. When you do things half-heartedly, people are affected personally. As part of the vision leadership here, I can tell you, I'm affected personally when people don't look after things, when things are dirty, when people are late, when things like happen, because I know that especially if it's a function, especially if it's It's like, so let's say the service is running here. Now I know we've got a busy ministry, so if people come in and out, that's fine. I mean, that is completely understandable. But when there's functional members of a team who come late, it is discouraging. It's exhausting. It's the thoughts that go through your mind. Remember this morning I spoke about offense. So that familiar spirit, like just now, so I stood up here, things weren't ready, everything's moved around, and I'm like, maybe I must just go and do the live stream back in my office. You know, that's exactly the thought that goes through my mind. Why? Because I'm tired, and everybody's listening to this. Everybody's sitting in here. I'm sure you're a little bit tired. It's hot. You know, you're like, do you understand that everybody's going through something all the time? Does everybody understand that? The person next to you is probably going through something right now. Everybody is always going through something all the time. And when you don't cherish the seed of faith in their heart and realize that person is going through something, that person's already exhausted, I must protect that seed of faith in their heart. I must protect that little bit of hope that they have. I mustn't be negative around it. I mustn't do anything to discourage that seed of faith. I love the message of grace, but my question is always, why walk in grace when you can walk in favor? Grace is when you need more time because you keep messing up. Can't pay your bills, so they give you a bit of grace. You know, that's what grace is. More time, more time. And people are like, hallelujah, we're under the grace of God. And I'm like, well, I'm grateful for the grace of God, but I don't really want to be classified as someone who needs grace all the time. Although I always will, because you know, you can't really be as perfect as heaven needs you to be. But what I'd like to be in is favor. Anybody else? Walk in favor. Favor, like walk in favor. God just blesses you. People just bless you. People promote you. People want you around. But when you don't protect that little seed of faith in people's hearts, when it's not special to you, and when you allow people around you who don't protect that seed of faith. So how do you do it practically? Well, you've got to view everybody through two lenses. Either they're your teacher or they're your disciple. Two lenses. Either they're your teacher or they're your disciple. And sometimes your teachers need to become your disciple for a few moments. When you walk with people, you're always looking to learn from them or teach them something. All your conversations need to be encouraging, strengthening. There's some people in your life who are like ultimate teachers. They've passed tests that you failed. They've achieved things that you haven't. You do not want to offend those people. Why? Because they will protect that seed of faith that they have for their vision, and you will just be swept to the side. Many times, who's ever asked this question? Let's say there's someone important, like a pastor or a boss or someone that you really like, and you like to hang out with that person, you like to spend time with that person, you like to just sit down and have a meal with that person, and then you wonder, how come those people over there always get to eat with them and I never do? Who's ever asked that question before? You wanted to get close to someone, and usually the answer to that question is the people around those people protect their seed of faith. I'm a nobody in a small town, but I can tell you now, people who come late, not talking about now in a busy environment like this, I'm talking about like for appointments or like for set things, that kind of thing. I can't sit with them because I know their spirit is chewing bubblegum while I talk to them. You know what I mean by spirit chewing bubble? You know, that like, they're exhausting. So I just let counselors deal with them and pastors deal with them. And if I deal with them, it's from a position of a counselor if I have the energy to do it. Why? Because if this faith, if this little seed of faith in me dies, the vision goes with me. Jobs go with me. Lots of people won't get fed anymore. Now look at your own life. There's a seed inside of you of magnificent things that you want to achieve, magnificent things that you want to do. You have to revere that seed so much that you're willing to put people at an arm's length, push them away from you. Jesus said, if you're not willing to abandon your family, you're not worthy of following me. That's what he said. If you're not willing to abandon your family, you are not worthy of following me. Why? Because never underestimate how incredibly selfish people are, or rather can be. Never underestimate how people will place themselves before you. Don't underestimate it. You have to teach people how to treat you. You've got to school people. You've got to sit down and teach them. Sometimes it's going to take you a week. Sometimes it'll take you 20 years. But you've got to teach people how to treat you. And you've got to teach them how to protect the seed of your faith. And it's not always going to be comfortable around you. But you've got to protect the seed of your faith. You want to know one of the keys to breakthrough? Priorities. Nothing just happens. The vision's not just going to happen. It requires focus. You want to tell a mountain, pick yourself up, be cast into the sea. You want to have that authority to just move mountains out of the way. Choose a champion. Choose a place. Choose a people. Choose an assignment. Get stuck in and then protect that vision. I tell you, wrap yourself around that vision. Fall in love with that vision. Get stuck in there at all costs. Every ministry I've ever been in, they told me I was in a cult. Every single ministry, I'm telling you, every ministry I've ever been in, I was told I'm in a cult because I commit myself so much that they say, no, I'm trapped in a cult. The fact is, I want that thing to work, that's all. You want to hear something profound? For that thing to work, I need to work. If you want the thing to work, you got to put in the work. And to put in the work means you need emotional drive. You need focus. You need to be able to focus for 3 to 5 years, 7 to 10 years. You've got to be able to like boom shakalaka, boom, boom shakalaka, boom, boom shakalaka. Just focus, 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 focus. And you need faith to focus. Your faith needs to be pinpoint, spot on, focused. And when people come and they say, I don't know, you're working a bit hard, you're a bit overcommitted. They say stuff like that. And you realize that person doesn't actually know what they're doing. They're attacking the seed of my joy, the seed of my fulfillment, the seed of my faith. And you've got to educate them. You've got to sit down and say, I love this. I love it so much. It brings me such joy. You are attacking my joy. You're attacking my peace. Do you love me enough to let me be happy? Do you know what I'm saying to you? It's when you find something that you love. You want breakthrough in your life. When you find something that you love, when you find a place that you love, become a crazy, zealous nut job. Become so focused on that seed of faith, that little thing, because it's so easy to kill it. You can be happy today and lose it tomorrow. Because you allowed someone to come and pick up that seed. When Jesus tells the parable of the seeds, it's like that seed landed on a bit of tar, that little bit of faith, and then a bird comes down and just picks it up and goes. I knew that the moment I moved here, I knew that in my heart was planted a vision. I don't know, does anybody else feel like this vision resonates with you at a depth that you just cannot explain? Because I've been in churchianity for so long. I just wanted something real, man. Something real, double real, side real, that is so real that it's tangible. I can feel it when I can breathe it. I wanted something so real. I wanted to serve God tangibly, practically, and physically. I didn't want to be part of something. I wanted to be part of a movement. I wanted to be part of something that's much bigger than any church I can build or any church I can be in. I wanted to be part of something insane. But it was such a teeny, weeny little mustard seed. Such a teeny, weeny little thing of faith. And all the well-meaning people want to come and say, don't be too committed. Don't put too much in. Don't put too much of your time, your money, your energy. I put everything in because I believe. Everybody say, I believe. If you believe in something, throw heart, soul, mind, cherish it. Don't just be on time, be early. Don't just be early, be prepared. Like, prepare your mind before you go. In this vision, at a certain point, when this place isn't like a shed, multi-purpose shed, you'll have to walk the prayer path before you come in here. We're actually going to have like another chapel at the top there. You'll have to go pray in that chapel, walk a prayer path, then come in here. That's how much I cherish this vision. When we build the big building at the top there, thousands of people worship up there, but the people who are intense, have the same intensity as me, that's who I'll spend time with. Why? Because no matter how big this vision gets, it's still a tiny seed that can die. One moment, one word, one little drop of discouragement can kill that seed. We're always one moment away from giving up. Is this depressing or is it educational? Are you learning? I want to inspire you to protect the vision that God has put inside of you for whatever it is. Because the enemy is looking at that seed like hungry. It's like, my precious. Like, enemy looks at that seed. And we don't protect it, and we just let people say what they want to say. You've got to pull that thing to your heart, like this vision, this little seed. I've been here for 6.5 years, and I'm still nervous that someone's going to come and try and steal the seed of my faith, because I know what it feels like to be depressed and hopeless and want to die. Has anybody else been there? Like perishing for lack of vision, nothing. It's like you're just going through life like a zombie, literally just brushing your teeth, going to work, looking after whatever, the kids, the cattle, the sleep at night, just getting closer and closer to your grave. But when you've got purpose, waking up it feels like another back into the, once again into the breach, back to battle, back to war. Let's go and deal with the problems. Let's go, because we know something's growing, something's beautiful. Like that seed has to be protected. It's a teeny weeny little seed that if we don't cherish it and protect that seed of faith, it can be snapped up in a moment. Because there's the nature of man. Everybody say they're shellfish. And I'm allergic to selfish. Is anybody here also allergic to selfish? I'm not allergic to shellfish, but I'm allergic to selfish. I've got an intense allergy to selfishness. I want people around me who will cherish the vision with me, who will love the vision with me, who understand what we're doing, to feed 14,000 children a day, to have fun with them, to put roofs over their head, to give them a proper opportunity. So in that 4 to 14 years window, we're looking after them, training them, and then they must, kind of lead and stuff from 14 to 18. When they're 18, usually they're finishing school. Now we have opportunity from 18, 28 to bring them in as learnerships and internships and train them, give them more opportunities. Like Like, I think about it, I dream about it, I desire that in this region, poverty is decimated. And then we set a precedent that starts a movement. Now you've got that seed in your heart as well. Hey? You're excited about affecting people's lives. Maybe you're just excited about being in an environment where there's love and there's like healthy ambition. Maybe you just protect that seed in yourself. Protect that seed in the person next to you. Protect that seed of faith. Like, watch what you say to each other. Watch the clock. Always be prepared. Revere things. Like this big shacky that we're in here. I revere this place. I love this place. I've prayed more than 1,000 hours in this place. Worship, thousands of hours. Maybe 2,000 hours. I don't know, like hours and hours. 7 years. I know this place has been up for maybe 4 years. It was a tent first. But in the area I'm standing, the little stage area in there before it extended that way and backwards like that, I've been in here most days, worshiping and praying and just envisioning this new, stunning, state-of-the-art, awesome building that's coming. But I've revered that seed with all my heart, you know. I've picked up papers and thorns and, you know, like in this place because I revere it. It's not just a building to me. The difference between someone who walks in breakthrough and someone who walks in disaster is faith. Faith in that little seed. Focus in that little seed of hope within you. And that seed is the vision, whatever vision you have for your life. Protect it. Become like Gollum from Lord of the Rings. You know, my precious, my precious. Protect it. Protect it. Day in, day out, at night. You know, whatever you're watching on TV, whatever games you're playing, conversations you're having, whatever you're doing, is it energizing you or is it angering you? I don't like to play first-person shooters anymore because it angers me. So I can't hit anything. I'm not like Donald and Tina. They kind of hit what they aim for. I don't know, Donald, can you hit anything? Yeah, he's very good. I can't hit anything, so I'm always accusing everybody of cheating. It's like 32 players and 31 of them are cheating. I realized that playing those games, those particular games were affecting my faith. I don't do things I'm not good at anymore. Because I realize this is discouraging me. Are there things in your life that you're doing that are discouraging you? Don't play tennis if you suck at it. Maybe start whacking the ball against the wall. Or rather play tennis against people who are around about the same skill as you, unless you want to go professional. But there's no need, you know, people say you've got to play people better than you to get better. Well, do you want to go professional? Or do you want to be depressed every single day? You know what I'm saying? Like, surround yourself with people who inspire you, who keep that seed of faith alive in you. You don't have to, and I'm going to say it again, you don't have to tolerate faith stealers. Correct them lovingly, rebuke them lovingly, teach them how to treat you, how to treat that seed of faith within you. Protect that seed of faith. Am I talking to anybody? Become crazy. I've allowed myself to become insane in how I protect that seed of faith. Do you know the life that I live? Because I pray through the night every night. My wife sleeps upstairs, I sleep downstairs. Because I usually go to bed I used to go to bed at about 7. Now it's around about 8. If I can make it back to my little garage vibe there without 5,000 questions. I think I made it back at 9 o'clock this morning. I was very happy to go to sleep. Lay there on my bed, slept like but you know, then someone says, you need to sleep in the same bed as your wife. Listen, I've been married for 24 years this year. I'm a very happy marriage. You focus on your marriage and work out your own salvation, fear and trembling. But I know that if I don't pray, I'll die. if I don't spend that amount of time in prayer, this vision will die within me, because I'll be more affected by what man says and by what bank accounts say than I will by what God says. I'm fanatical. I am fanatical. Don't be afraid to be a fanatic. Look at somebody next to you and say, don't be afraid to be a fanatic. If it takes treating something like a cult, then let me join the cult. I'm in the cult that feeds 14,000 children. I am. Amen. The other day, someone was trying to tell me that, we must save, like we must. I was like, what are you talking about? There's piles and piles of food here. There's starving people over there. We've got clothes everywhere. There's cold, whatever. It's summer now, so not so many cold people, but there's half-clad people with holes in there, Like, what are you talking about? God will supply all our needs. Why do you want to come and affect my faith with your conversation right now? Why do you want to say horrible things to me? People are going to come to you with their lack of faith, and they're going to mean well but bring hell. And obviously, often you're going to do the same. We're going to mean well but bring hell. Protect the seed of faith in other people. If Caleb comes and he says, I want to start an evangelism activity that does this and this and this, your answer is yes, amen, that's awesome, go for it. And if he sucks at it, you still say yes, amen, that's awesome, go for it. Because there's a possibility that at some point he won't suck at it anymore. If you feel like your life is a mess, that you feel like none of the things that you wanted to come true have come true, you feel like you've arrived at a point in your life where you have to start again, you are literally moments away from the most incredible life you can imagine, the most fulfilled, happy, joyful life you can imagine. Moments away. All you have to do is choose something to put that little seed of faith into. What do you believe in? We're always assigned to a person, a place, and a people. Who are those three? Your person, your place, your people. And you choose those. You choose your champions. We all got to follow someone. We all got to serve a people, a community. We all got to do it from somewhere. And that from somewhere, like for us here at Overcomers, this is our place, and we're nice to each other, and we feed everybody. We try and have as much freedom as we can within the incredible amount of work that we have, The person, the place, and the people. The place must be revered. I don't know, what's the time now? I feel like I've been talking for days. 12 minutes. Okay, good. Let me talk to you about why people call a church the house of God, and they make churches their everything. And I know it's offensive to a lot of people where they get angry at a church. They say the church, they throw so much money at church. I had a pastor who spent 220 million rand on a church building. And a lot of people were very angry about it. See, some of you are shaking your head about it, like, what could we do with that money? But here's the thing. They revere that place. It's their base of operations. It's the place where they worship together. It's the place where they meet together. And from there, they're going to do awesome things outside. And if you can afford it, go for it. I think for us to build the small place that we want to, it's probably going to cost close to 10 million rand. It's a lot of money. But it's going to help us stay in a place where that little seed of faith is protected, so that we can feed 200-300 million rands worth of people every month. Do you understand? Your office, your little office space where you sit, you can make it awesome. Throw heart and soul into that place, because it'll help you protect that little seed. So like my faith, when I see Uncle Dick and Opa Ronnie, when I see their workshop, I'm like, I want to build nice walls so it's cool in there. They must have their own place where they can their tools won't be stolen the whole time, because I know poor Uncle Dick's tools keep disappearing into the ether. You know, like we buy lots and lots of cool tools for that workshop, and that's just me talking about a workshop. Like nice, make sure that it's cool in there in summer, warm in there in winter. Because when you're working and it's uncomfortable and it's horrible, it starts to affect that seed of faith. Clothing for the workers, for guys who are working hard every day. Like I'm faithing in nice uniforms and stuff that's lekker in summer, warm in winter. And you feel cool when you wear it. You know, like, why? Because there's something that just protects and helps that seed of faith grow a little bit. When it comes to things like church buildings, I've never had a problem with people spending a lot of money on a church building, because I've always known. And I praise God that I got saved in an environment. I saved in Full Gospel Church with Pastor Justice Boyens, and he just said, we got to go bigger, we got to go bigger, we got to go bigger. See, his policy was like an empty seat is a life that could have been saved. A bigger building is more lives that can be saved, more souls that can be encouraged, and that always excited me. So even though we're here and we've got a very humble ministry, and you know, it doesn't mean that I don't love big ornate things. There's plenty of money out there. If that seed of faith is allowed to be watered, money won't be an object. Do you know how much money there is out there? Just to give you an idea, I saw on the news just now that Germany confiscated, I can't remember, but I think it was a $9 billion super yacht, freaking boat, some dude's boat, $9 billion. It's either 6 or $9 billion that they spend on that boat. There's enough money out there. There's no lack of money out there. There's lack of vision in here. There's lack of commitment and vision and focus. It's not a lack of money, it's a lack of vision. Don't look at what other people are doing and get angry because they spent more money than you can spend. Look at what you need to protect that seed of hope and excitement and passion, and jump into that with all your heart and all your mind and all your soul. Amen. Did you learn something? Did you receive something today? Protect the seed of vision in your own heart and in the hearts of others. That seed of faith. Protect it. When you talk to each other, talk vision. Like, let's say you're in the kitchen. Now, I know it's a new kitchen, but I've got a feeling it's already too small. What do we need? 4 times that size. So the media department's going to have to move out, then we do the kitchen in the media department. I think we must move the media department into the kitchen. Then we move all well, that's what's going to happen actually in the plans. When the Daniel restaurants built at the top, that whole thing where the media department is, with that huge aircon and its own little toilet over there, that becomes the kitchen, you see. But you see, talk vision. Talk about it, like draw it out, then you come and you show it to us. So this is actually what we want. Have a vision for the kitchen. You know, have a vision for your office. So actually, I'd like to be in an office that is 20 meters by 20 meters. To give you an idea, this is 9 meters wide. I said, I worked for a company, and I went to the CEO and I said, here's my vision. I want 2 offices, please. And one for this and one for that. And then 6 months later, they told me, okay, we're building a new building. You're going to have 2 offices. One for this and one for that. I wanted a small office that was too small for meetings, and then a big enough office where people could come in. So my small office, even if you wanted a meeting, you had to stand in the doorway and talk to me. You couldn't get through. It was like long and thin. I wanted it exactly like that. Because people were popping into my office the whole time. When I had time to have meetings, I went to my other office, and then people could come in there, and then there was like Have a vision. What is it that will help you protect your seed? Are you receiving something? Are you learning? If you think, okay, you know what'll protect the seed of faith? So let's say Derek and his team, they work hard outside all day. He says, you know what'll give me a bit more faith is I'd like a hangout spot where me and the guys can hang out with a TV with sports on early in the morning, lunchtime, and after work, and it needs a braai. What do you think of that, Derek? Yes, he's giving me thumbs up. Dream like that. When you have a seed of vision in your heart, God will manifest that thing. He protect that seed. Caleb's going to say, I want a prayer room made out of sponge so that you can lie down, go on your knees, lean against the wall, swing from the big prayer room. Like you dream it. You come up with a vision. Put it up on the wall. Hyundai, Shundai, somebody stole my bow tie. Protect that seed of vision. Tanya sees this massive worship ministry. Massive worship ministry. Now God's teaching her logistics management, practicing your logistics management skills. Because anything great has got administrative precision. Anything great has got administrative precision. So what I saw over this vision was administrative precision, administrative precision, administrative precision, administration, paperwork. Anything great has administrative precision because it's just good stewardship. Just before your biggest promotions, God will hone your administrative skills. Always. Your paperwork. Amen. So I hope it wasn't discouraging for you guys. Renee told me this morning, she said, it was so sad. This morning was so depressing. I'm obviously having a deep day today. The goal for this afternoon, it's funny how what was in my spirit was to speak about protecting the seed of faith in you with precision. And then when I walked on stage, like there was just chaos. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's why, Create a space of precision around you. Protect your seed of faith. Amen. Love you guys very much. Have a wonderful, whatever you are around the world. Over here, it's afternoon. For you, it might be morning, evening, lunch, potato, gem squash, potato. Amen. Love you guys.